Hello, my beautiful, successful CEO. Welcome to the next episode of this podcast. I am so excited today because the weather is so freaking beautiful here in Canada, in Ontario, Canada. It is sunny out. It is like 20 degrees. I actually went for a run after some of my calls I did this morning, and this is it. This is like the life. When you're in Canada, like, you know what I mean, where it's like freezing for so long of the year. And then finally, when this weather comes, it's like, we are reborn. Like the rebirth is real here. Like we feel it. We feel it here. And we had Easter weekend, which was such an amazing, beautiful weekend. We had the best weather ever and just time with the kids. We went to a few play places. What else did we put our patio furniture out. The kids were just playing out front with their friends and they enjoyed their new gifts they got at Easter and all the chocolate and all the yummy things. We had family over and it was just such a beautiful, chill weekend. And, one thing that I want to say, actually, this was not planned for the podcast, but even though it was Easter weekend, and even though I was more present than ever with my family, and I only went on social media a little bit, like less than I normally do, yesterday was a 4K day. And there were women coming into my offers all throughout the weekend. And it just goes to show that like you get to be present. You get to be grounded and attuned and really in the moment with your life and with your family. And like, if you have a family, your loved ones, whoever it may be, I hope you guys can't hear. You probably hear because I hear it. Yeah, that would make sense. But someone keeps messaging me on Instagram Instagram and Facebook, and it keeps popping up and making a dinging. So just ignore it. Okay. Just ignore the real life scenario that's happening over here. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, we get to have it all, like we get to step back and be in the moment and not even think about our businesses, and the ball gets to roll, right? The momentum still gets to build. The other thing I want to talk to you about this is like, but this isn't something that just happened within like a week. Like I've been building my online product business for 7 years now, and my coaching business has been about 4 years now. So to have days where you can just sit back and all these orders are coming in and you're having a $4,000 day. And I mean, I've had bigger days too, right? But I built to this as well. So I just don't want where you're newer to business, you've just started and you're like, but I don't have that. And it's like, we have to be building the foundational pieces. And you're going to hear me talk about this a lot in this podcast. And actually today's podcast episode is around one of the foundational pieces to really grow your own successful online business or in-person business as well. Okay, so that was the recap of my weekend. I hope you had a beautiful weekend and also just tapping into that energy of like, you get to be in the present moment. And even if you're just beginning and, you have this long weekend, or maybe your kids got home from school, like your business is still going to grow. It's still thriving, even if you're at the beginning and you're making sure you're present, like you still get to do that. But just having those like high cash days, that does take time to build to that point where that happens for you. Okay. So today's episode is all around your mindset and your beliefs when it comes to growing your business. And what I find is there's a lot of entrepreneurs who they know that they want to get to their end point, right? So let's say your goal is 5K months or 10K months or 20K months, or to scale your product business globally, like whatever it may be. Okay. We all have different desires and dreams and wishes. Maybe it's speaking on stage. Maybe it's, starting your own podcast. Maybe it's filling up your masterminds and your private coaching. We all have different desires. Now, you may go, okay, I need to get really good at selling. How do I sell? How do I launch? I really need to create a standout brand. How do I even market? I need to learn how to market since I'm an online business owner. And what about onboarding people and offboarding? What about my backend systems? What about my support team? Like there's so many pieces of the puzzle. There's so much that needs to be integrated and embodied and learned and executed and mastered and refined when it comes to being a business owner. But there's also a time and a place for those things that I just listed. A lot of entrepreneurs, they want to get to Z, they want to get to the end point, but they're missing vital steps. They're missing foundational pieces to get there. So a lot of entrepreneurs, especially when they're seeing other entrepreneurs, what, I can't even say that word. When they see other entrepreneurs who are getting X results, they want to get there now. They want to quantum leap. They want to collapse time and just get there now without implementing certain infrastructures to get there. So they're skipping these pieces that are so vital, the building pieces, the building blocks. You know, if you think about a pyramid, right? Like it has the base. You can't just put the top of the pyramid up there, right? Like the base has to be built. This is like your business. So there are certain steps, there are certain aspects and elements of your business that has to be integrated time and time and time again, and continue to build it and build it and build it. So you can accelerate your business, so you can grow your business, so you can have this profitable, wildly successful business. And one of the things that, you know, I've talked about before in episodes, and this is always something we dive into. If you're my private client, if you're my masterminds, if right now in the 5K club, like that was one of the first trainings, my 6-figure CEO ladies in the 6-figure CEO portal, we dove right into clarity. Like this is the number one thing. Okay. Clarity on who you're here for, clarity on what your value is, clarity on the experiences they're going to have, clarity on your products, clarity on your pricing, clarity on your offer suite, clarity on your client's journey, clarity on the end result and the transformation. Like clarity is the first thing we need to focus on, but that's not what this episode is about. But that is one of the foundational pieces that so many people skip over. They're like, I want to get over here. I want 10K months and I want an incredible brand and I want to create messaging and marketing that's like going to magnetize clients and convert into cash. Like they know that they want these things, but they're skipping almost the boring stuff that's like so important, okay, to getting there, to getting to that end result. So one of the building blocks, and these are one of the keys I'm actually going deep into in the Business Accelerator Academy program that I've created, is going to be a self-paced program. There's 8 modules, so 8 keys. And within these modules, there's mini trainings, okay? Easy to digest, easy to implement, you know, easy to watch. They're going to be like bite-sized pieces of valuable information for you to start to absorb, learn, implement, integrate, start to embody, and start to really master so you can continue on your trail towards scaling to your millions online. And so the next key here in the Business Accelerator Academy that I will be diving deep into with these trainings is your mindset. Okay, so we're clear on why we're here. We're clear on the vision. We're clear on the mission. We're clear on the people we want to serve. We're clear on where we're going to take them, the value that we have to offer, our zone of genius. We have clarity on that. We know. And just so you know too, like this will shift. This will change. Your brand, your business, who you're here for, who you are, who you've become, the experiences they're going to have, like this is going to evolve as you evolve. So just know that as you take action and as you continue to show up, this clarity gets even more clear, okay? And it can shift, it can transmute, it can alchemize, especially as you are, it should be, okay? So don't ever feel like, I have to know now and it can never change. And no, it will inevitably change if you're changing, right? Because your business is the reflection of who you are. So next comes your mindset. Okay, so your brand, your marketing, your messaging, all of that effort, all the stuff you're learning about that, the strategies, the implementations, the structures, the systems, like all of that, you can just throw out the window if your mindset isn't there. Like that stuff will not matter. If you don't believe that you can create and manifest anything that you ever desire, and that clarity on that vision and that mission, you don't fully believe that it can actually be yours, then your manifestations and your reality and the results of your business is going to reflect the inner thoughts, your inner beliefs, your inner feelings. What you're creating right now in your life and your business, it is a direct reflection in a mirror to your internal state, which is your mindset and your belief systems. Okay? And our beliefs are these repetitive thoughts over and over and over again that we have from our own conditioning, from our childhood, past life trauma, if you believe in that, our DNA passed down from generations to generations. It's our experiences in our childhood, in our adulthood, that has formed the way that we think, those repetitive thoughts over and over and over again. And so in business, we want to reprogram, we want to shift, we want to transmute these subconscious beliefs. So we're not consciously choosing it. Sometimes we know, sometimes we're aware, but we have to do that internal, deep inner work. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see Easter eggs are still hiding up there. Can you see the pink ones? They're right behind me in this like piece of decor. It's like a big kind of round decor piece and it's a bunch of sticks. We still have Easter eggs and the kids haven't even noticed. They're right there behind me. I just noticed as I was recording this podcast. So funny. And there's actually some more in my little plant in front of me, and the candle that's in front of me is like, they're tucked inside. So I'm like, I said to my husband, leave them. And it's so fun when you discover the Easter eggs later. I remember when I was a kid, it'd be like a week later and I would spot one and I'd be like, oh my gosh. And I'd be like so excited. So I can't wait till they find these Easter eggs. Okay. I digress. Back to what I was saying. So we want to be aware of these thoughts. And that's the first step, is being aware of the thoughts that you have every single day. You know, the debilitating ones, the ones that aren't true. And you can do journaling every day where you bring awareness to this. So let's say you're like, I want to have a $30,000 month in business. So you're going to state this in your journal. I want to have a $30,000 month in business. And then bring awareness to what are the thoughts that are coming up right away. I can't have that. How on earth is it going to happen? It happens for her, but it won't happen for me. How many clients do I have to have? Nobody's done this before. Why would people say yes to coming into my offers now? I've never experienced this. So like, what makes me think that I could experience now? Who am I? Like, who am I to think that I could have 30K months? Or there could be the belief around, it's a bad thing. You know, what if I had $30,000 months? What will my family think? Will they judge me? Will my friends not want to be my friends anymore because I won't be relatable? Like, everyone has a different mindset and different beliefs when it comes to their success. Okay. When it comes to the business and the life they want to create, we all have different beliefs. They're all different depending on what we've experienced. And so we have this belief, we have these repetitive patterns, and it's bringing awareness to this. So this is why it's great to like journal these things out. And then when you journal this, you can say, this isn't truth. This isn't truth, because our beliefs are not fact, right? It's just repetitive thoughts over and over due to the past. And so we get to bring awareness and we get to flip that script. We get to change the story. So instead of it being like, who am I to think that I could have 30K months? It's like, who am I not to think? Who am I not to think I could have 30K months? And then it's like, it's happening for her. Of course, it's happening for her. Why can't it happen for me? That's proof. She's showing me proof that this is possible. If she can do it, she's human. There's no hierarchy here. Then I can do it too. And with manifesting too, it comes down to, do you think you're worthy? Do you think you're worthy of creating these results, of having these results? And sometimes people will self-sabotage. They'll put this upper limit on themselves. You know, maybe your upper limit is $3,000. Maybe it's $10,000. We want to break through that glass ceiling and seeing what's possible and seeing other people do it. This allows us to open up our cap, to allow that glass ceiling to be smashed. But you have to believe that you're worthy of it. You have to believe that you can create and attract just as much as those other people. So we're going to reframe it. So looking at those thoughts that are holding you back and shifting it through bringing awareness and then flipping that around. okay, on how, yes, I can do it. And then with all the scripts that you're flipping, it's like, if I were to move today, if I were to choose my faith over fear, what moves would I make today? What moves would I make today in my business? Okay, because we have to be an aligned match for where we want to go. We can't just say, oh, I want to manifest this and I believe it's possible. I believe this is for me. We actually have to take action. So what moves would you take? Okay, if you were to choose your faith, the vision, the dream, the belief over the thing that's holding you back. Okay. With believing in the vision, in the thing that you want to manifest, one thing that I have found that is so powerful is actually seeing the vision. So if we think back to my product company and when I started making lip balms and bath bombs in my kitchen, it's so funny to think back then. And I think I even made some bath bombs like in my actual bathroom, which was kind of fun. I didn't know where I would be. Okay. So this can be tricky sometimes because it's like, have a vision and hold it tight. I didn't know that I would be one day an owner, a founder of a vegan natural aftercare company that served tattoo artists and cosmetic injectors and lash artists in the beauty industry worldwide. I didn't know that. The fun thing, actually, if you follow me on my stories, we just started collaborating with a Germany tattoo company and we are sponsoring them. So our business is spreading over in Germany, which is super fun. But I didn't know that this would happen. I wouldn't have guessed in a million years that I would leave my teaching job and start building this company. But what I did know is as I was dabbling in with the bath bombs and the soaps and the balms and people started ordering, I started to have this bigger dream. And I could see it. I could see this bigger dream of what if this like actually sold all over the place? Like, what if my soaps and my bath bombs went all over Canada? And as I continued to get orders coming in and I started to see the evidence, I started to dream even bigger. And as the ball started to roll, and then I started to have microblading artists and tattoo artists contact me for my bombs, the vision and the dream got so much more clear. So notice that I'm taking action all this time. But I knew I had this belief that it was going to be something big. And I remember reading this magazine about a woman who was in university and she was making handcrafted soaps. And she was at a market and someone came to her table and said, we would love to have your soaps in our store. And they handed her a card and they're like, but we need 30,000 soaps made by X date. She was like, oh my gosh. And she looked at the card and it was, I don't remember the place. It was like, it's a place in the USA, but it's basically similar to like a Home Sense or a Winners, Barnes and Nobles, like that kind of store. Okay. It's very popular. It's in every city. It's like a home decor type store. And I remember reading this in the magazine and I thought, oh my goodness, can you imagine if my product was requested to be in stores and I had to make 30,000 units? And she ended up getting all her friends and family coming over to help her cut all the soap and make the soap and package it up so it was all ready to go. And it actually reminds me of the quote where it's like, you know, never say never. And if you can see it, then it's yours. But there's also another quote that I was like, oh, if you don't know how to do it, just know that everything is figure outable. Like basically like you will say yes and then find out how to do it and have the determination and the knowing that this will be yours and you can do it. You'll basically move mountains for the thing. Like I literally just told you guys like 5 different quotes in one. But the idea behind it is like with this woman, she was like, I don't know how I'm going to make 30,000 soaps. But all I know is I'm going to say yes, because this is a massive opportunity and I'm going to figure it out. And so she did, right? She ordered all the supplies. She called in the troops of her family and friends, and she was able to figure it out. Well, here's the crazy story. So as I'm reading this magazine, I'm thinking, this is going to be me one day. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? And I started to dream bigger, and I started to have this big desire of maybe I'll leave teaching one day. I ended up years later, I'd say like 3-4 years later, a big influencer in the permanent makeup industry contact me to start making aftercare for her company. And she's one of the biggest ones in this industry. Okay. One of the biggest influencers and trainers and all of that. And she wanted to order 30,000 pieces of aftercare. Like, hello. I couldn't make this stuff up. It is so crazy. I wanted it. I claimed it to be mine. I believed that it could be mine. I believed that this could be possible for me. I didn't know how. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know how the doors would open. But I believed and trusted in the vision, in where I was going, in the desires. And then I continued to show up every single day for those 3-4 years, building my business, putting offers out, putting new products out, showing up on my social media, consistency, up-leveling the brand, investing, continually investing over and over, taking a leap, leaving my teaching job. Like, there was so much that has happened on the journey that led to that point. But if I didn't believe it could be for me, then I wouldn't have been taking the action. I wouldn't have been consistent. I wouldn't have been continuing to show up, and I wouldn't have been continuing to make the connections that led me to this big contract. None of that would have happened if I didn't have that mindset that it was possible for me. And so listening to this episode, listening to my crazy manifestation story, I want you to start to dream bigger. And I want you to think right now of that vision. What is your vision? Where do you want your business to go? You know, if you were to think about the most successful, wildly successful business that you dream of, what would you be doing? What would it look like? What are the tangible results? And maybe you don't know the specifics right now, but maybe you just know it's going to be something massive. And now we need to believe that we are the ones that are going to make this happen. It's a desire of yours because it's meant for you. And now you have to believe that you have the tenacity and the courage and the bravery and the will and the grit and the dedication and the commitment to show up for this dream and this vision every single day. And when you do, the opportunities are going to come your way. The universe will start doing the heavy lifting. The synchronicities will begin to happen. And then you'll look back and you'll go, how did this even happen? And then you'll remind yourself, that's right. It happened because I showed up for it. And I believed that it could happen. And I believed in me. Okay. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope that it landed with you. I mean, I feel like every time I come on and do an episode, there's someone out there who needs to hear this message. And if you want to come into my DMs over on Instagram, CEO Charissa Lynn, and let me know how this landed. If you were like, this is exactly what I needed to hear today, let me know too. I always love to hear how my work, my words, my own medicine is impacting and transforming lives. Okay, I also have right now, which is super exciting, the Business Accelerator Academy, which I talked about at the beginning of this episode. It is in the pre-sale launch phase right now, which is $1,111. It's going up to $1,555 next week. Final is $1,997. I was having a lot of fun with numbers this time. And this is going to be diving deep into some of the topics that I brought up today. So there's 8 modules in this program. It's self-paced. It's going to be one of my evergreens. So everything's recorded for you and you can watch whenever you desire. There's going to be a mix of video trainings and audio trainings and PDFs, which is incredible for all the different learning styles out there. In the 8 modules, so this is the 8 keys to building your insanely profitable business online, right? The Business Accelerator Academy. There's 8 modules. So the first module is clarity. Okay. And within these modules, there's mini trainings, bite-sized training, easy to digest, easy to implement. Then it goes into the mindset. So I have the framework for your business acceleration, the 8 keys, and it has to go in order, right? We have to be building the foundations first. So I've specifically created these modules in a certain order so that you don't skip phases, or else your business won't continue to scale and thrive and be sustainable. We want it to have a firm foundation. So mindset and belief comes next. And then we dive into building a strong community so that you can lead into the marketing and your sales and more clients come your way and your branding. If you want in on the offer before it goes up in price, there's payment plans as well, which is 4 payments of $300. The link is going to be in the show notes. Come join the magic. You also get a private 60-minute business acceleration call with me where we're going to go over the 8 foundational keys, okay, of your business. Look at your business. We're going to go through the framework that I've created for this program in your private call. Now there's limited spaces, so make sure to jump into this before I go, okay, that's enough. I said 10 for now, but if there's, I have to see my capacity. So make sure to jump in and claim that space before we begin or before they get sold out. The program is going to be sent out at the end of April and you get lifetime access and you can watch it anytime you desire. Okay. I love you. Thank you for being a part of this successful CEO podcast and being a part of my world as well. I love you and I will see you on the next episode.